411 is on Alec Murdaugh. Alec Murdaugh is the stud up in prison. Let's get into it. So it looks like between April 9th and April 15th, Murdaugh received 20 messages, most of them from women. Court TV obtained copies of the messages, and I'm going to read them to you right now. One writer, identified as Danielle H., sent Murdaugh a total of 11 messages on April 13th and 14th. Her initial message, which reads, "Good morning, Alex. I've written you a few times before, and I'm disappointed you haven't responded. I know you've got to be receiving more mail than the whole prison put together. The last thing I want to do is upset you. I wished I was able to give you a big hug and say good morning. I'm going to continue writing you. I live in blank. Hope you can enjoy your day. XO, Danielle." Danielle sent a series of messages following her first, asking for him to respond. In one, she said, quote, "I went through hell setting this account up. I just would like to hear from you. I think I have become obsessed with you. I don't care what you have done. I don't want anything from you. I just know that you're going to be okay," Danielle continued. "My stomach dropped when I noticed you were online. I know it sounds pretty crazy, but I do think about you every single day. Probably a good thing you're so far away. I don't even know you. Why am I getting frustrated thinking you'll never respond?" Danielle's messages continue to get more frantic, asking, "Just one little hi, and I'm begging you to respond," before finally saying, "I'm almost tempted to write you something erotic." Most of the messages express support for the convicted killer. Here's another one. "I just want you to know," which, if you've gotten my other mail, you'll already know that I just wanted you to know. There are people out here that believe that you aren't meant to be in that place. And just to keep fighting, wrote Rachel B., who described herself as a young mother. "I just wanted to reach out and let you know that there are people that believe you're innocent. I'm so sorry for everything you're dealing with. I hope you can appeal," wrote Pamela M. "Just want you to know that there are people out here who see how you weren't given a fair trial," said Krista E. "It doesn't matter to me or my spouse if you're guilty or not. You deserved a fair trial." Some of the people who wrote messages to Murdaugh offered expertise, with Brittany B. saying, "I just want to say that I have watched everything I can about the tragedy you're dealing with. And I want to start by saying that honestly, I don't believe you are guilty. I'm currently studying forensic science and technology. And I want to try to determine if there is a way to see how inaccurate the logged information is based on anything." In a second message, Rachel B. went further, saying, "I'm not sure if you'll be able to see my profile information and picture on here, but I'm sure I'd want to see who's writing me if I were you. I would bet I'm the hottest one you've gotten mail from thus far. LOL, I'm kidding. ... Maybe." Among the messages sent to Murdaugh was a note from Louise T., who lives in Scotland. "I am not like the other weird women who declare to love you. I laughed my ass off reading about that stuff in the news. And I don't have any agenda, media, and whatnot. Just some support if you want it." Lacey K. introduced herself to Murdaugh, saying, "I find myself feeling the need to check in on you again. I sure hope it doesn't seem odd. I promise I'm not a weirdo. I'm just a small-town girl from Missouri." Other messages to Murdaugh include requests for interviews and comments from local news stations, the producers of a recent Netflix documentary, and a person purporting to be an author writing a book. Some of the messages reference money or other items. Amanda D. wrote that she sent $40, while several others offered to send any items Murdaugh might request. "My name is Seth," reads one message. "I'm a general sales manager at a Kia dealership here in Georgia, and I correspond with several higher-profile individuals who are incarcerated. I also like to send them funds and support them however I can." The final message in the records supplied by the jail was from Danielle, again on April 14th. She said, "Lots of women want you. Many would like to visit you. However, what you just went through, perhaps you don't want to speak to anybody. I can't blame you. No matter what you did or didn't do, you're still a human being and deserve to be treated like one. I typically never write to anyone who is incarcerated. I just think you're different for some reason. While not surprising that there are women that write to prisoners,